What happens when the fallen ones misuse the vile flame? In a previous video, I explained what happens when we misuse the vile flame and how we misuse it in the first place. In a nutshell, when we repeatedly misuse the vile flame, we will gradually receive less of it when we try to invoke it, until we prove that we can use it correctly and responsibly. But here's another question. What happens when the fallen ones misuse the vile flame? That's a different story. To explain how this works, I first have to cover another aspect of the vile flame and the other rays or flames that are active on our planet. I've talked a lot in my videos about how we as individuals can invoke the vile flame. But that's not the only way that the vile flame operates on Earth. The other way is that the universe sends certain basic quantities of these spiritual energies to our planet and other planets to sustain the fundamental functions of life. Healing energy, the green light, for instance, is amplified on Wednesdays. The flame of brotherhood and taking care of each other, the purple light, is strengthened on Thursdays. The vile flame is amplified on Saturdays. These baseline amounts of spiritual light are available to all of us. But if we want more of a certain flame for our personal use, such as wanting more vile flame to transmute our karma, we have to invoke it with our prayers and decrees. Now back to the fallen ones. These beings usually don't give vile flame decrees, of course, but like everyone else, they still have access to baseline amounts of vile flame released to this planet every week. So how could they misuse it? Let me give you an example. One of the qualities of the vile flame is freedom. Freedom from old patterns and habits that stand in the way of becoming who we really are. The fallen ones can misuse this aspect of the vile flame by promoting chaos and riots and anarchy. Anarchy is a distortion and perversion of freedom. When we exercise true freedom, we act responsibly within a framework of decency and mutual respect. But when people descend into riots and anarchy, which may feel like freedom to them, they misuse that light of freedom by turning it into manifestations of aggression, violence, and destruction. So in essence, the fallen ones can instigate and sponsor this kind of violence that masquerades as freedom but really isn't. That's their karma, of course, but they don't care about that. But light bearers and people of goodwill can be sucked into this misuse of vile flame. They think they are doing something great for society, but in reality they become tools of the fallen ones. They carry out these destructive plans, and sadly, they incur a lot of karma that one day they'll have to balance. The moral of the story is be very careful with what you lend your energies to, because you don't need an ounce of extra karma, especially not that karma that rightfully belongs to the fallen ones.